Mm. Hi everyone. So I just wanted to come on here and just do a quick video to give you guys an update on everything that is happening with me. So recently I was laid off from my job. This happened 2 days ago, and I'm really just dealing with a lot of feelings of what's next, basically. As far as the layoff itself, I'm really just feeling a lot of guilt, wondering if there were things that I could have done differently. Should I have worked harder? Should I have given more? And really the only answer that I can come up with is that I basically did the best that I could in those moments as they happen. And so there's really not anything that I could have done to prevent this. This is not on me. It's the business, it's the economy, it's the pandemic, it's everything that's happening. And so really, I would just want to give this update to share, the feelings I'm going through, the things that I'm going to be doing as next steps to prepare for this transition. It's already happening, so just prepare to navigate the rest of this transition, the changes that I'm going through. And with my job, I really like my job. I like the responsibilities that I had. But I really struggle with like talking. I know that sounds really silly because you talk all the time. You talk every day, every hour. You talk to everyone. And as a kid, talking was not something that I did much of. I was always the quiet person. If we were in a group environment, I probably said the least that of anybody in that group. And so I think a lot of that comes from my hearing loss and just really always being in a situation of not really always hearing everything that's being said. And so when you can't hear everything, you that affects how you respond to things. And then on top of that, if you on top of that, when you don't speak, people notice it, they wonder why you're not speaking. And so that just created a lot of pressure for me, and it gave me anxiety, so that when I do speak, I'm feeling like I'm feeling like a fish out of water because it's not something that I do often. I already have a lot of anxiety about it, and I think that that just mentally makes me think about messing up even more. And so I do mess up, and then I'm able to like smile or laugh it off or whatever, but it's such an uncomfortable feeling to have, and I don't like feeling that way. And so I've definitely talked myself out of not talked myself out of, but I've definitely passed up a lot of work opportunities that would have allowed me to advance my career because of the fact that I was going to have to be speaking to people and have them listen to me, and like I'm the one dominating the conversation instead of listening to other people. And so with that, at the time that I had these opportunities, all of these interactions basically would have been happening face to face or over Zoom with me in a room full of people and then other people watching on Zoom. And so that is basically like giving a speech in a class. Did not like having to do that. I knew when I was going to panic, I knew how I was going to panic, and I just never really could get down. I still can't really get it down, but I can't really get down how to navigate those feelings and persevere through them. And so I've been doing a lot of work now to get better at that, but I obviously still have anxiety. I still have those situations where I think I'm ready to go and I'm ready to speak in the meeting, but then when it comes time to speak, that anxiety just kicks in, and oh my God. And so I am regretting that I have this anxiety. I wish that I were better at speaking. I wish that I felt more confident in doing it. Like, I want to be one of those people who just says whatever comes to mind, and what they say comes out so perfectly that there's no like misunderstanding them. And I think that that is the problem of when I speak. I guess I'm just not really accepting like, hey, this is the way that I speak, and I just have to get over it. And I've edited a lot of my videos on here so you don't see it happening as much, and it really hasn't happened too much in this video, but there are times when I'm talking and my words just come out wrong and I have to backtrack and correct it or whatever. And so I think I just need to accept it. That's how I talk right now, and the only thing I can do is just keep talking to one, bring awareness to the fact like, hey, this is how this person talks, like get used to it, or at least allow people to prepare themselves to encounter that when they're listening to me talking. Because if I never talk and then all of a sudden I do, you're gonna be caught off guard. And so I think what I need to do, even though it's very uncomfortable, I really need to just get in the habit of talking more and just going with the flow. If I make a mistake, just laugh it off and continue talking, make my points as clearly as I can at least, and then just go from there. And so with that being said, I am obviously trying to figure out what my next role is going to be. I was in customer support. It was email based, which is awesome. I need to figure out, do I want to be someone who's just, handling tickets, interacting with the customers over email? Do I want to do that, or whatever the situation is, email, chat, phone, whatever? Or do I want to be a manager? I really love being a manager. I love developing people. I love having one-on-one meetings. I love just checking in with people and seeing what's going on, what I can support them with. And so I have no idea what being a manager at a different company in their customer support department is going to look like. Am I going to be required to speak a lot, like to the group as a whole or in those small meetings? So I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what type of role I am looking for. I do know that in terms of salary, I do need to replace a good majority of it. So I can't take something that doesn't even get close to what I was earning at this job that I was just laid off from. And so I do have a lot of things to think about. One of the biggest things that's coming up is that ideally, my ideal life is to be married, to have kids, to be a stay-at-home mom, let my husband bring in the income and worry about the finances and all of that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because traditionally that is how it always was done. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She did not have to work unless she wanted to. And so I really grew up in that environment anyway. So it's not like I'm striving for something just because it's popular on Instagram. Like, that's the environment that I grew up in. And so my mom was always able to come to our games, come to school if we needed her. She wasn't tied down with work and she could really just be there for us. And so I want to be able to do the same thing for my kids, provide the same support, and also provide that for my husband as well because I'm available to them. I'm not at work in a meeting. I'm not able to not help them with the things that they need because I'm busy at work, you know what I mean? And so right now I'm single, obviously. While I'm single, I should be supporting myself. And with that being said, right now with me being laid off, I obviously have a lot of free time to do whatever I want. And so really, I'm just trying to figure out how to make the best use of this time. I obviously need to be applying for jobs, preparing for interviews, which require a lot of talking. And so and presenting the best version of myself to them. And so I have sent out a few applications, or filled out a few applications. I have looked over my resume. I have looked over my cover letter and just making sure that everything's up to date and it looks good. Um, I have been wanting to switch into the coding industry, the software engineer industry, and that has been a big struggle for me because, oh my God, so I think I started a boot camp with my sister maybe in mid 2018 or something like that. She had already done a little bit of courses here and there, so she kind of knew what she was getting into. I really had no prep work before joining the boot camp, so I quickly got lost. I had no idea what was going on, and obviously I've been a student in school. I know to do my homework, to study and all of that stuff, but when you're really like out of school and you're trying to jump into a new industry, it's a completely different ball game than just literally being a kid and going to school and just having to learn what you're doing in your classes and stuff like that. Obviously, I had to balance going to school and playing sports, but I was good at basketball, so it's not like I had to do a whole lot of extra work on basketball. And then with school, those subjects I wasn't good at, and I had to put in the extra work, and I was able to do that. But with my job, I really, everything I learned was on the spot. It was structured. It was within my 9 hour shift or whatever. And so now I'm just having to really, this sounds, I guess, really bad or whatever, but now I'm just really having to figure out how to consistently dedicate time in my day to learning how to do something new. And I really do think I want to learn coding. I think that technology is something that is super important in our lives, and I use technology for everything. We all do. And so I think that I know that I would be excited to learn coding. It's just something that takes a lot of time and dedication to learn. So for example, I've been talking about my hair in a lot of my videos. Obviously, when I started my locks, I had no idea what I was doing. So I had to watch videos to figure out what locks were, how to do them, what were the ways that you could do them. And I had to figure out how to do these braid lock extensions. I had to learn how to put the hair in, how to braid it, how to add it, all of that. But the point I'm trying to make is that it didn't take me super long to learn all of that. It probably took me 2 months or something like that to learn how to interlock, how to add hair, how to fix something wrong with my locks, whatever the case was. But with coding, it takes a lot longer because you're literally like learning a new language. And let's be clear, I was terrible at Spanish. I had a hard time with ASL just because I don't know what it was, but I'm not good at learning foreign languages. And so I think that having to learn a new language, which is computer programming, is a very interesting correlation. And I think that it didn't click to me just now that I struggled with learning foreign languages as a kid, and so I think that makes perfect sense why I'm struggling to learn a new computer coding language, because I just wasn't good at that type of thing. And so that's not going to discourage me from learning to code. It's just good to have that information to understand kind of why I'm struggling a little bit. The other aspects I'm struggling with in terms of coding is that I really sometimes struggle with like not mental health, I guess mental health and my emotional state, and just sometimes I want to do things, I'm passionate about it, and then other times, I don't have the energy to do it. I just rather would watch TV, escape into whatever I'm watching on TV, and I do need to be better at that in order to really advance and get to where I want to be with these coding lessons that I'm learning. I'm doing something through Udemy. It's a video or a course by Colt Steele. So he's like one of the top, I guess, like instructors or coders in the coding world. And so I'm really excited to be learning from him. I do of the videos that I've watched and listened to, I really do like what he's doing. And so one thing I want to point out with those videos, something that I really struggled with in the beginning with learning to code, is that on all of my videos, I have captions on. And so I'm basically hearing what is being said, but I'm also reading the captions, like literally reading a book, to kind of pick up what's going on. And that was really hard for me because one is like reading a book. I'm trying to read the captions. I'm trying to read what's going on the screen. I'm trying to listen to see if there's something in the caption something that's being said that's not in the caption. And so it was just a lot. And then on top of that, I was trying to take really good detailed notes that I could refer back to. And it was just really time consuming. All of the lessons, like if it was a 10-minute video, I would basically spend 20-30 minutes on it just for those reasons that I mentioned. And that was very discouraging because I wasn't getting far. I was burning out very quickly. And so I really had to change my approach. First, I took off the captions so that I could just rely on everything that I'm hearing and seeing on the screen. That allowed me to really focus and pay attention to what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. In addition, I am still taking notes, but I'm not taking notes of every 5 words that I hear, you know what I mean? I'm really watching the video, making sure I get the concept, and then I'm taking notes down of like the big points instead of trying to capture every single thing that I think may be important. And so that change has been really helpful. I am making a lot more progress than what I was before, and now I have to really just figure out how to make sure I stay motivated to continue learning. And so something that I've noticed over the past couple of weeks of before being laid off, of what was helpful for me there were a lot of times where I was just like, I don't feel like learning anything today, so I'm not going to. What I would literally have to do in those moments, I would literally have to like get on my phone, open the Udemy app, and just watch a video, and that would kind of like force me to do something even though I thought I didn't want to. And so that has been helpful a little bit. I really need to keep doing that to really just get myself into coding. And then once I'm feeling like, hey, I like what I'm learning, this is good, I'll continue to learn for like another hour or two. And as I continue to do that throughout the day, each day, that will help me get so much further along in my courses. Excuse me. And so right now there's 684 lessons. I'm at like 233, so I do have a way to go. But if I continue doing those practices I just talked about, that will help me reach my goal, help me get my certificate, and then help me be able to move on to the next steps as far as putting together projects, interviewing, and then hopefully getting a job in coding. And so obviously, that is kind of like a while off. Hope it would be nice with me being laid off if I could do that, like accomplish and complete that, not accomplish, if I could complete that program in the next like 3 months or something like that. But I do need income coming in the meantime. And so obviously, I'm still going to be applying for jobs. I'm still going to be taking interviews, and I'm just really trying to figure out what my next role is in the meantime. What am I going to be doing? Am I going to enjoy what I'm doing? Is it going to be enough salary-wise? So I do have a lot of questions on my plate. I do have a lot of things that need answering that I just don't have the answers to. And so I'm really just going to give myself grace during this time because there is not a lot that is in my control, but whatever is in my control, how I apply for jobs, what I'm putting in my cover letter, what I'm doing with my time, all of those things are in my control. And so I really just have to make sure that I buckle down and I really just focus on the goals that I have for right now. And so I do want to point out that if I didn't already, this is my second time being laid off. I was laid off back in maybe 2017 or something like that. And then from that job that I was laid off in or from, I got the job that I was just now laid off from. And so for 4 years, I've had a steady job. I've had income coming in. I've been able to increase my salary. I've taken on new opportunities while still declining some that would have really advanced my career. And so this time around, things are going to be a little bit different. I'm in a new city. So I'm not in New York City anymore. Being that everything as far as my transportation was by the train, I am not leaving my house as much because I'm not in the city anymore. And so I don't really leave the house as much unless it's to like run in. So I'm not getting that energy from being in the big city or whatever. And so that's going to be different for me. I am spending a lot of time in my room instead of the office downstairs. Initially, I did think that I wanted to be in the office like 9 to 5 every day, just learning my lessons, doing interviews, filling out applications and all of that stuff. But I think I'm going to bounce back and forth between my room and the office and the living room and just really just feel, I really just want to make sure that I feel comfortable wherever I am in the house and in a space that is going to continue to, or it's going to allow me to continue to feel motivated to do what I need to do in order to get a new role, bring in some income, and then also accomplish or meet my coding goals. And so there's a lot going on. I don't have any, this is not accurate. I do have some concerns as far as like how long is it going to take me to find a new job, and what will I do if my savings runs out. You know what I mean? So I do have a lot of things that I am concerned about, but day to day, I'm just gonna take it one day at a time. One moment at a time, and just make sure that I'm doing the best that I can each opportunity that I have, just to really make sure that my future looks the way that I want it to. And so I've done a lot of talking in this video. I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I don't know if any of you guys have been laid off, if you know people who have been laid off, but hopefully there's something in this video that you could relate to. I hope this video was helpful, and if you guys want to leave any comments or questions that you have for me in the video section or the comment section, go ahead and do that. One thing I do want to add before I wrap up, and that was my wrap up, but one thing I want to add is that I thought about doing this as like a little series. I know that people do like a day in the life series, and I don't think I'm artsy enough to do anything as advanced as what I've seen online. So I may just upload a few videos here and there, just updating you guys on what's happening, any progress that I've made, any changes that I've made. And so hopefully a video like this has been helpful to someone. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. And yeah, I hope everything is going well for you guys. And again, thank you for watching. Bye, guys.